My name is Danny Mazhar. I'm part of the Bin Strike campaign as well, and I'm also standing as an independent candidate next Birmingham City Council elections in the Heartlands ward.
Danny, what do you think of this strike and how long it's been going on?
I think it's very disgusting, you know, that the bin workers have been asked to have £8,000 pay cut. Like I keep saying, like everyone else, they shouldn't be asked to be taking an £8,000 pay cut. Christmas coming around the corner. I just spoke to Kazan, telling me how it's going to be affect the bin workers. You know, at the end of the day, nobody should be taking an £8,000 pay cut. And some of the streets you can see in Birmingham, they're filthy. There's rubbish everywhere. I walked in my own ward. There's fly tipping. You know, residents are very unhappy. I've door knocked over the weekend. Residents told me they're really unhappy. Some of the fly tipping that's in the neighbourhood. You know, obviously we want a resolution as soon as possible. John Cotton Labour Council need to come to the table and resolve this immediately, because they're paying commissioners over £1,500 a day to come over here. What for? And at the same time, the same agency workers that they hired, they've been bullying them. You know, and at the end of the day, today you've seen together agency staff and the bin workers coming solidarity together and, you know, against the council for what they're doing currently at the moment. We need a resolution ASAP.
So with agency workers balloting to strike,
yes,
what does that tell you about the council and how it treats its workers in terms of conditions and pay?
Well, you can see how they're treating the workers. You know, they're bullying them. You can't bully workers. You bully workers. What? If, like Kazan I spoke to earlier on, Turner says if it was they unite themselves, they will look after those bin workers, yeah, you know, agency staff, you know, because they will need them on board to get the job done. But if you're going to bully agency staff, what's going to happen when we go back to square zero now? That's where we are now. You know, at the end of what's going to happen over the festive Christmas period as well, the bin, you know, piling up everywhere. I can see even the streets now, everywhere, it's just filthy.
Why do you think the Labour Council is dragging their feet?
Because they're mismanagement of what their finances. You know, they're trying to cut the council workers' wages. If they cut the bin workers' wages, who's going to be next? Whose wages are they going to cut next? You can't fill a deficit of cutting wages from you know, staff, you know, council staff. You know, they mismanage. What they should be doing is the black hole that they got of, they're saying they're bankrupt, they should be getting investment into the city. We're the second largest city in the UK. And why are we not getting investments in the city? That's what I would be doing if I was in the council house, making sure that we get investments coming to the city. You're talking about the HS2 rail coming here, yeah? Why are they not bringing businesses in here? Why are they not investing in this city? You know, money makes money at the end of the day. But instead, the wages for the bin workers, which is totally wrong.
And you've been supporting these strikes for a while now. Obviously, you want to stand in the 2026 local council election. How would you do things differently?
Well, as part of the Bin Strike campaign in June, we actually tried to get the council and the bin workers come to the Heartlands ward to have a meeting. The council never turned up. So as residents, you know, we tried to bring them to facilitate, you know, talks. But the bin workers, they turned up, United Union turned up, but they never turned up. If I was in the council house now, outside, you can see how much we can do, but inside, we can make noise and ask them to resolve the situation. And we need more people to come on board. You know, there's no good independent candidates or other candidates standing up. They need to be here today, support the bin workers, whichever way they can support the bin workers. And it's sad to see that there's only a few people, candidates that are standing up actually here with the bin workers. We know it's bad weather, but we need to be here. We know it's not easy to get time off work as well, but I'm sure people can make time to come down and support the bin workers. And I will push as much as I could, yeah, to be the voice inside the council for the bin workers and for the residents, not just for the Heartlands ward, for Birmingham residents as a whole, because we're paying 7.49% council tax. What for? You know, since March now, our recyclings have been picked up. I don't drive, and I have to drag my bins to nearly half a mile down the road so I can get my recycling taken away, and which I don't think is fair, because I have to lose a day's wage to do that.